Grandma Beverly. She lost a lot of mobility in her feet and her legs. It was really dangerous for her, even walking with a walker and with assistance. Getting in and out of the bathtub, can you imagine? It was pretty shaky. So her teenage grandson helped her every day with her baths. What a kind kid, but I'm sure there's something else he'd rather be doing as a teenage boy than helping Grandma. But through the members of Neighbors Helping Neighbors, one of our projects was to install one of those swing the door open whirlpool tubs that she can step in and out, and she gets the benefit of the whirlpool features in there. So this project, it helped restore some circulation in her legs, and it helped restore some of the safety, in her world, but it restored some dignity for both her and her grandson, and that's something you really can't measure. But I hope that you see, through the caring and the compassion that's shown to the recipients, we're about building better lives and not just completing projects. We're really invested in the recipients. I want to show you some examples of what you may see within a mile or two of here. These are true, honest-to-goodness living conditions. This is a mobile home, a trailer. I mean, it's missing half the skirting around the bottom. Who knows what's going on underneath the house when we get under there. Looks like there's sheets maybe over the windows. This bathroom, I mean, there's no tile or any kind of linoleum on the floor. That's just that paper that goes down underneath everything. And there's several different mats, but the wall is incomplete, and no telling how long it's been that way. Here's some more flooring. If you look, you can see 3 or 4 different layers of linoleum that's just been put on top of one another. And yet, at some point, they just gave up, and we're not going to put any more on here. And that floor, anyone who walked in there and stepped on that floor, I mean, it was mushy. It was not going to be there much longer. And look at this plumbing work. I mean, I think this is an exterior, some kind of siding that should be on the outside of a house, and it's just cut out around the piping. But those holes, I mean, the water's going to go back behind that tub and just fester underneath this tub. It's going to give way soon. And that ceiling, that's what caught my eye at first. The insulation is just coming down piece by piece. It's not long. It's going to all fall in. And I notice over here, that wall is pretty much whatever was there, whether it was a closet or something, it's just completely gone. Here's the kitchen, and you see the tarp underneath where the lady was going to do her dishes. And I don't know, do you see this concrete? I mean, a cylinder block, it's holding something up, holding the counter up, I guess, so it won't fall in. These are not unusual. Here's that tub again, where it's got that paneling going all along the side of it. You can't see in this picture, but behind the curtain, I mean, it's nothing. It's not even the paneling, that siding anymore. And I guess somebody bathed in that tub. I don't know if you venture out much, out into the really, really rural part of our community, but I promise if you were to drive about 10 miles from here, you could make a turn onto a bumpy dirt road, and you'd find perhaps a family compound out there. There's quite a few of those in our communities. You'd see dwellings, I'll call them, or trailers, lining the pasture or a roadside. You'd see dogs and cats, and you'd probably see some horses roaming around free out there. The trailers, they'd be missing panels on the side, and like you saw in the picture, the skirt around the bottom. There'd be clear plastic or blue tarps on windows and doors to try to keep in some warmth and to keep out some bugs. You'd see antenna probably sticking up still. There's still antenna out there. There'd be creaky wooden stairs that you'd have to walk up to get to the stoop, and you'd probably think twice before you took that first step to go up to knock on the door. Some of the trailers out here, they're so old that you can't even get a permit to move them or any kind of registration, but there are people still living in trailers older than me, actually. A lot of times there are multi-generations of people that live in these family compounds. I've been out to some of those with some of you in the room, and we met Great Uncle David and Grandma Adele, Mr. Lindsay and Tiara, not to mention the little wild children that ran around. They were just so excited to have company out there, and we were there looking to give them a hand up, but what we got in return was blessings from them. They were excited, and they were really intrigued by the drone that we had flying above, looking at the damage on the roof so that we could see how we could possibly get out there to help them. But like I said, we get blessings in return. I also think about a family. I don't know if no, they're not in the room with us tonight, but we went out to deliver Christmas gifts one time, and it was not a trailer. It was not even a pull-behind camper. It was just barely a camper. I have no idea how old it was, but the windows were covered in tarps. The grandpa had gone out to cover it in tarps, and the little girl would have to go outside to go to the bathroom at night. Oh, it just broke my heart. It was just freezing in there. I have a new friend in the community. Her name is Miss Cobb, and I hope that you get to meet her. She is fragile, but she is mighty. She has 4 kiddos. She recently got an apartment down the street from me after moving out of the circle of love. She works hard every day to battle those memories that are in her head and to provide a safe place for her children, just like you and I would want to do. She's had help from a number of organizations in the community, and that's why, as Bob mentioned, it's so important to partner. She thanks people for the safe shelter that she's been in. She thanks for the 4 beds that were delivered to her house. She thanks for the clothes that she gets out of a clothes closet and the food that she gets on Saturdays and from the food pantry. She wrote me this, and I want to share it with you. She said, "Thank you so much. This means more to me. No one's ever cared about us like this. I didn't know communities existed. We are used to people leaving us behind or being forgotten." I don't know how many Miss Cobbs there are here in our Lake Country, but I think we should do all we can to find them, give them a little hope, and make life a little bit or a whole lot better for them. Thank you for everything.
How's Beth, huh?